Oakland, California, the mayor in that city reportedly says police there will not help immigration officials who plan to arrest 1,500 illegal immigrants in the Bay Area. Here's what Nancy Pelosi had to say about that. The Trump administration's deeply shameful plans to conduct immigration raids in California are an act of pure malice. Hard-working immigrants will be targeted and their families torn apart simply for being Californians. All rise, Judge Napolitano is here. What's your reaction, first of all, to what Nancy Pelosi had to say? Not the mayor of Oakland, Nancy Pelosi.
I'm afraid I have no comparison to the ancient Greeks on this one, Stuart. Look, the immigration raids are pursuant to federal law, which she, as well as President Trump, has taken an oath to uphold. The president, through his agents, has the discretion to decide when and where and how to enforce the law. And if they have discovered a large group of undocumented aliens in Oakland, California, and have decided it's time to move in, they can do so. Now, whether or not the state helps them is another issue, and certainly we can discuss that. But basically, she's saying she wouldn't do this if she were president. Guess what? She's not.
Well, what is the legal standing of California as a sanctuary state, or Oakland as a sanctuary city? I believe it is. What's their legal standing when the feds come in and say, we're arresting these people?
Well, there is no legal definition of a sanctuary city. It's really a media definition. And my understanding of it is one where the local and state authorities will not go out of their way to help the feds when the feds are enforcing a law with which the locals disagree. So can the feds force the locals to work in tandem with the feds? Answer, no. Can the locals refuse to cooperate with the feds? Answer, yes. Can the locals hide or harbor undocumented immigrants? Answer, no. That would be a felony. So that's the law. That's pretty clear. It's not even disputed.
It seems to me that the West Coast of the United States of America is in revolt and appears, frankly, to be setting up an alternate government. Now, look, I know I'm going too far, but you get the point, Judge.
Well, you know, there is quite a bit of rumbling for an effort to secede, not from the Union, but from the state of California, and to form a new state, a 51st state called New California. Now, that only happened once in our history, and it was during the Civil War, when what is now West Virginia seceded from Virginia through violence and the existence of what purported to be another country here, the Confederate States of America. I don't see it happening. But if Nancy Pelosi is suggesting that the president has targeted California because it voted against him, there's no basis for that. Though there is a reason to believe that that's implicit in her suggestion, because she says he's picking on California.
The only way out of this, and I've only got 30 seconds left, the only way out is for Congress to stop appropriating money for California, for Oregon, or wherever else. Cut off the funds unless they stop being a sanctuary city or state. That's the only way, isn't it?
That's the only legal way, but I would suggest the inverse of that. Not stop the funding, but offer the funding with the condition of cooperating with ICE. There's no way they're going to turn down that cash no matter what the condition is, and then they'll be locked into a contractual relationship where they will have to cooperate.